Hey fellow citizens, what's up? Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're talking about Star Citizen Alpha 3.12.1 is now live. You can go and download that right now. However, as of yet, the Xenothreat update isn't in there, so the dynamic event isn't live as yet. They reckon 24 to 48 hours. The update went live, about 12 hours ago as of recording. So hopefully it'll be maybe by the end of Friday, the weekend, we can hope. So, without further ado, let's crack on with the patch notes, and then let's talk a little bit about the Xenothreat. So let's have a look at them. Patch notes, known issues, some or all of the player's items that should be kept after a character/database reset are lost. So that could be things like ships and weapons and armor. A player's ship can enter a state where it cannot be retrieved. I had this bug a while ago with my Freelancer Max. It could be retrieved, but it was half missing. It was just like some wheels. It was kind of funny. Lighting/shadow issues affecting players using the AMD 6800 and 6900 graphics cards. And to be fair to RSI, that's it on the list of known issues. I'm sure there are many more, but that's a nice small list. I like that. Feature updates, locations. Let's take a moment's silence. Dalamar has gone. Levski has gone. It's no more. The reason for this is they're saying it's to improve frame rate, and also it shouldn't be there. With the new dynamic events, they really need that frame rate in that server space. So Dalamar, see you later, dude. Gameplay, EVA quality of life updates. So we now have some new updates regarding that. Made improvements to how live ragdoll physics are handled and greatly increased the angular acceleration of the thruster packs in EVA. So that's kind of how they fixed all that. PvP and PvE bounty missions will now fail if they're killed by the bounty. Polish pass on names and location descriptions of various bounty missions. Temporary remove patrol missions. Reduce start and infantry levels of multiple commodities and TDDs to prevent their inventories from being constantly maxed out. Increased inventory and refresh rate of all the shop items to reduce the frequency that items run out of stock. Increase the availability of prison repair missions. Made further optimizations to help with the AI flight movement when server frame rate is erratic. And finally, moved exit interaction location on the Retaliator bunk beds to make it more easily found. Yes, I used to find that I couldn't get out of bed. Right, there was a boatload of bug fixes in this patch, so I'm going to cover a few of the main ones. Fixed an issue that was causing ships not to be able to restock. Vehicle damage charges should no longer be given to the wrong player when two ships collide. Fixed an issue that could cause the player's ship to enter a state where it cannot be retrieved. Fixed an issue that was causing the prison kiosk to give a transaction failed message when selling minerals. Fixed an issue that was causing players to get a broken multi-tool if they were sent to prison while wearing leg armor. Talon Shrike should no longer become unable to fire missiles. Multiple FPS weapons should no longer be missing collision on the front of their barrels, which allowed them to shoot through walls or ships. Fixed a server FPS issue that was causing enemy fighters to change direction instantly and have unnatural behaviors. Items dropped or placed by a player should no longer sometimes immediately disappear. Turrets at rest stop should now respawn correctly after being destroyed. Fixed an issue that was causing turrets not to spawn in claim jumper missions. Bounty targets should no longer take a long time to spawn once a location has been reached. Players should no longer be able to clip through the hull of the Idris and steal it. The mission named a very difficult task should no longer automatically complete when accepted. Fixed an issue that was causing more than intended reinforcements to spawn for easy bounty hunting missions, and also fixed an issue where reinforcement ships on an easy bounty could sometimes spawn harder than intended ships. The goodbye exit screen when closing the refinery terminal should now display correctly. And finally, the Krull L5 quantum travel should no longer be obstructed from most planets and moons. That is really annoying when you're trying to get over there. I've come across that time and time again. So yeah, that is all the bug fixes within this patch. Now let's talk a little bit about the Xenothreat and the fact it's not in the game yet.
Attention, people of Stanton. We are the ones in charge. We are Xenothreat.
I hope you enjoyed that little video there. So just for a bit of background on the Xenothreat, an outlaw group known as the Xenothreat have launched a campaign of violence in the Stanton system, and the Navy has requested CDF or Civilian Defense Force support to help combat the Scourge. They preach a viciously anti-UEE and xenophobic rhetoric. Xenothreat forces have been responsible for dozens of attacks against civilian and corporate structures. Any and all volunteers who wish to combat this invasion should join the CDF through their contact manager in the Moby-Glass for details. So, breaking it down a little bit more, basically outlaw forces identified as Xenothreat recently attacked a corporate convoy headed for the Terra system. They destroyed all the cargo and publicly executed the crew as collaborators of corporate greed. The UEE Navy has dispatched an armed response to deal with this threat. Estimated arrival 24 to 48 hours. The Civilian Defense Force has been raised to provide support for naval forces against this imminent threat. If you would like to volunteer, please monitor your Moby-Glass contract manager for debriefing when it comes available. So that's kind of a background of what this is all about. So let's talk about how the event will work in the game. So when the event triggers, an AEE agent will contact all the players on the server in a video message asking for their help. This is server-wide, so everyone on the server at that point will be asked to attend. You then basically sign up to become a member of the Civilian Defense Force, and you head over to INS Jericho, which was a new spawnable location. It's like a large floating ship base thing, and you'll be briefed on the next stage after arriving. When you get there, there'll be a cargo phase. So there are 3 or 4 Starfarer wrecks in the glass clouds located about 600 kilometers from Jericho. There's a quantum beacon there, so you can travel if need be. You will need to collect as a group many of the 3 different types of cargo. One of the cargo types is quantum sensitive, so it means it can't be jumped. The other 2 have kind of different mechanics. So one's normal, one's a bit unstable, and one can't be jumped with. So you can't jump back, you have to fly back yourself. The cargo is in the wrecks, and it will be infested with NPC pirates that will need to be killed in first-person shooter combat. Some wrecks will be more difficult access than others, so it won't just be a big hole you might have to work your way through. Some wrecks have gravities and some don't. You've got I would use your tractor beam, so you've got your multi-tool attachment to get around a little bit different. Cargo can be loaded, preferably in groups working together onto ships that have the ability that can be accessed via the trade console. So you basically fill your ship with cargo, head back to Jericho, and you kind of sell it to the Jericho, and that's how they get it. Wrecks can be bumped into, so there is collision damage. Cargo gives a large payout when submitting it, but only to the player who sells it. So just remember that. Transports will be attacked by pirates and will need to be defended. NPC pirate ships will ambush and attack at high speeds, so do remember that. You will need some people guarding as well, so it's not just everyone getting cargo. You will need people like out there protecting from the pirates. Later into the phase, the UEE agent will announce the enemy Idris is coming in to attack the Javelin. Players must repel the enemy Idris's attack and defend the Javelin, as it can only take a few shots from the railgun. If the Javelin dies, it is mission over, and you have to repeat all these steps until you get enough cargo into the Javelin to basically get it moving. That's the kind of point of it. Next is the attack phase. So new orders will be given to face down the enemy Idris. The beacon where the wrecks are, basically in the cloud, you'll have to go there and face the Idris and go on a full-out attack. Idris will spawn waves of fighters, and we'll have 2 hammerheads there as well to defend it. Bombers, hammerheads, and fighters are recommended to take it down, obviously, and you'll be fighting all different types of ships as well. Payouts are given for damage done by the player. Torpedoes can give large payouts if they hit, but bearing in mind they can shoot torpedoes down. After the Idris is killed, the UEE agent congratulates everyone. Everyone's happy. Everything's fun. But then it'll be interrupted and 2 Idrises spawn again with fighter waves spawning, and then you've got to kill all them, and then the Javelin will come in and sort everyone out. So that's kind of how the phases work. It's kind of like dynamic event, and it's completed when all them phases are done. It'll be interesting to see how players react to this. I can imagine for the first few weeks it's going to be very popular. After that, I'm not so sure. How much replayability value does this have? Not too sure. If you turn up and only 5 of you turn up, I know apparently the AI difficulty will drop if there's only, say, 3, 4, 5 of you turn up. If a whole organisation turn up, will you even get a look in to be able to actually help out too much, or will the organisation just take control and get all the cargo, etc.? So I'm not too sure this is going to work long term, but that's a dynamic event. So keep an eye out for it this weekend. I will be jumping in to grab some gameplay, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know below what you think. Are you excited for this dynamic event? Are you excited for this patch update? Is there something that's going to bring you in for this patch? Are you just waiting for this dynamic event? Or are you just kicking back and chilling out in the verse as always? Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.